affect your physical health. Learn the signs, because feeling better is possible, especially when you seek treatment early.
This Beasley Best Community of Caring message is brought to you by Talk 1470 WNN.
What you want to know. What you need to know.
Talk 1470 WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
Are you ready? It is your time to take a few moments from your busy day to unwind, be inspired, and listen to the psychic insights of your host, empowerment psychic, Halley, Elise, a top 100 psychic, speaker, and author. Off air, be sure to connect with Halley at HalleyElise.com. And now, the Halley Elise Show.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for tuning in this evening. My producer and I were having a little go-around earlier, so I'm going to ask a little favor, and that is if you like the framing as far as the image for those folks who are watching this evening, let me know, because this might be the direction that we are moved into. It's really funny how we go back and forth on things. The thing about it is everybody has a different view, and I was thinking about that a lot lately in the sense that, for instance, you may look at a color and say it's blue. Someone else may say it's baby blue. Somebody else may say it's sapphire blue. Depending on the lighting, depending on the depth, depending on the hue, depending on if you're seeing it on a computer screen or you're seeing it on a poster, that's going to make a difference. It is that view. And connected to that is adaptability. How adaptable are we? We know what we like. We know what we desire. We know what we would like to see, what our view is. And the truth of the matter is, no matter what it is we desire, we want, we choose to see, it's not always going to be 100%. Now, you have to have humor about it. I'm going to give an example that's a bit more succinct. Let's say you go for a doctor's appointment, and that drive should take you 20 minutes. And instead, it takes you an hour and 15 to get to where you're going. And you get there, and you look at your watch, and you go, oh, good, I just made it, or I'm only a minute late. And you go inside, and then you sit. And perhaps you're sitting for another 20 minutes, and you're thinking to yourself, well, what was I concerned about? Here, I thought I had plenty of time, and then I didn't, and then I did, and oh my. And you get yourself all worked up. Then they come, and they get you. And you see your doctor, or run the test, or do whatever it is that you need to do. And then you realize they're doing more. Perhaps your time frame was an hour or 2 hours, and it ends up being more like 3 or 4 hours. How adaptable are you? Can you make changes? Meaning, if you had scheduled your day based on an appointment being 2 hours, let's say, and it's 4 hours, do you have the capacity to bend? Now, this drives home because how often do you have a business meeting that runs over? Or you have children that have an event that have to be there at a certain, you have to, be there for at a certain time for them. And you find that while you're taking them, you also have another commitment. How adaptable are you? Are you able to tell the people that you're meeting, listen, I'm going to be a little late, or start without me? Even when it comes to things that are important as far as timetables. If you go to the movie theater, you can't really say to the person in the projector room, listen, I'm going to be 10 minutes late. Don't worry about it. Just hold the film. They're not going to do that. But are you okay with coming in 10 minutes late after the film has begun? What I'm trying to get to is, in our lives, there are always opportunities for us to navigate around circumstance. It's not a matter of will circumstance happen. It really is a matter of how do we interact with our world. And the reason this has validity and is so important is because we need to stay mentally healthy. Actually, just prior to going on the air, there was a commercial about mental health. And I've been sharing a lot about that of late because I see so many people in need. There are so many folks who just get overwhelmed with the smallest things. There are so many folks that take what other people say to heart. There are so many individuals who they just cannot adapt because they feel as if their world will fall apart. That's all connected to stress. It's all connected to your view. It's all connected to that whole environment that you're a part of, which is your world. See, here's the thing that we need to remember. We dictate what goes on in our world. We don't think we do. We think, oh no, that's impossible. This happened over here and I have nothing to do with it. And that happened over there and I have nothing to do with it. And it is just a matter of circumstance. It's a matter of coincidence. It perhaps is a matter of I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. I have to tell you, I don't believe that, and I'll tell you why. I have found over the years, I'm going to say over the years, for decades at this point, that where we are, we seem to be taken to. We've heard the expression, what we focus on expands. We've heard the expression, birds of a feather flock together. All of these little things have relevancy. And when you first hear them, you think, what is that about? It's silly, really. How does that have any bearing? But the truth is, it's telling you that who you are as a being, who you are as a person, who you are in that moment is a reflection of where your mindset is. It's a reflection of who you've allowed yourself to be encircled by. So give a little thought to how adaptable are you? How can you shift your view? How can you say, okay, this isn't going the way that I'd like it to go, but what can I do in this moment to make an adjustment? Or even, am I able to think ahead of what may happen and problem solve? You have that capacity. It's just getting into the pattern of doing it so that instead of getting irate, instead of getting overwhelmed, instead of getting so stressed that you just can't manage, you say, okay, I will do this. I'm going to give a real simple example, and then I'll go ahead and go on to our telephone. We have a lady who's kindly waiting. When your stress levels are calm, when you're centered, you have the ability to think more clearly. It's proven you have better mental acuity, which means you have better problem-solving skills, which means you are able to use and engage both parts of your brain, that right and left hemisphere. And when you can do that, and you can do that on a consistent basis, almost creating a systemized environment for yourself, then you'll find that you have more peace in your world overall. And to get back to what I started to say as far as a simple example here, let's say you had a rough day. Let's say your blood pressure is off, and I'm going to use the doctor again as an example because it's something that I actually went through today, which was kind of fun. And the people around me were joyful. They were happy. They were easygoing. We got chatting. But what I found was I was extremely tired. And I know that a lot of times when I'm in an environment with a lot of people, if I don't remember to kind of safeguard my energy, then it kind of connects with everything else going on. And this is just an energy thing that I do that I know better about. And sometimes I need to remember. Instead of going to a place of, oh, I just can't handle this. I'm not going to go anywhere else. I'm not going to do anything. I said, no, I need to meditate. That's all. And I took a half an hour for myself. I set the alarm and I sat down and I went into that space. And for those of you who are thinking, yeah, well, that's great for you, but I don't know how to meditate. Seriously, reach out to me. I guarantee I will give you simple and easy techniques, not because there's a charge, not because I'm gaining something from it. Send me an email on Facebook or send me an email to my inbox on regular email, and I will be happy to give you suggestions on how you very quickly can shift your environment so that you connect deeper within, so that you have that internal reference point harmonious. Again, think about how adaptable you are. Okay, Rosie, are you still on the line?
Yes.
How are you?
I am not good, to be honest.
I'm sorry.
Me too, and everything is upside down, and I just wanted to know what you see for me.
Okay.
Everything has been flipped since I got back to Georgia in early June.
If I recall correctly, you were going to move back there. You had a new baby grandchild coming into this world. Am I correct on that?
Yes, DJ just turned a year old, and I moved in with my daughter, and I'm watching him full time.
Okay. The reason I asked is because I was thinking in terms of when you originally left, you did it for you. When you went back, you did it for your daughter. Part of what's going on is you're not honoring yourself. Of course, you want to share and spend time with your baby grandchild. That's very important to you. And of course, your daughter is very important to you, and being there is important. But by the same token, I do not think you've equilibrated within yourself that if you are there, it inhibits you from doing other things. And it's not just about...
I lost my car. My car's been impounded, and I can't get it out. And I really didn't have anywhere else to go after Scarby. Scarby was really, really bad.
Okay, but
and
hear me out for a moment, okay? And you may have been listening earlier when I was saying as far as adaptability. Not having the car, obviously, is a major burden and major inconvenience. By the same token, in the past, when you didn't have a car, you found ways to be mobile. You had people show up in your world to assist. In the past, when you've had bad situations, you have moved through them. Sometimes with a little more peace, other times not. What I'm trying to get to here is tap into that energy that has to do with patting yourself on the back, having an awareness that this is just temporary. This is not permanent. And what I'm getting is approximately 6 months. So what is that, December? We're in what? We're in July, yes? August, September, October, November, December. So that'll be January, beginning of the year. Within 6 month period, I feel like you've got a cycle that you're going into that is more about rest and replenishing than it is about active movement. It reminds me of the difference between a passive meditation and an active meditation. So an example would be an active meditation is Qigong, where there's a lot of physical moving and there's a lot of interacting, whereas a passive is more being still, doing the breath work, doing the visualization. And what I'm saying is I'm using this as this evening my tongue is all over the place, for an analogy to where you're at, meaning in your mind, there's always that need to look ahead at that next step and how you're going to do it and how you're going to make it happen and what to do. And oh my gosh, instead of taking a breather and just being still and saying, okay, isn't it nice that I get to be here with my family? But more important, I have a haven in a storm for this moment.
Yes.
And while I have that haven, since I am so creative and I make these magnificent little creatures that everybody loves, how about I look at a different way in sharing them? And I'm going to make a suggestion here. I don't know if this would be the particular site, but it's just the thing that popped into my head. I think it's called Essie or ST.
Yeah, I've been listing today, actually, on my Etsy store, and I think I'm going to start babysitting here at the house.
Okay.
Since I don't have a way to move around.
Okay, so what I'm saying, if you're following me here, is take advantage of the time that you have where you are to be still, enjoy that, and make money by having other children come in, but also giving yourself the opportunity to share your wares in a different way so that you get more attention, so that there is more of a buzz. And this way, when you are ready to go back on the road, and I do believe you will be, this is not permanent, honey. When you go back, you can have people saying, oh my gosh, didn't I see you on so-and-so? Or even better yet, you can start accumulating those names and those emails so that you can let them know, hey, I'm going to be here in 3 months. Come see the rest of our little special gifts. What I'm simply trying to get to is I get a 6 month cycle that says be conscious of what's going on in your life. Be grateful for where you are. Let go of the how am I going to do it? And instead, take a look at what you can do because you can babysit and create some money. You can create your beautiful, beautiful pieces and share them and make money. You could even do home parties. I know that sounds kind of off the wall because we think Avon or Tupperware or what have you, sex toys. I mean, there's all sorts of things we do at home parties, right?
Yeah, I've done those before.
Okay, then why not let your mind go to how can you make now as good as it can be instead of being so far ahead, because there's that constant need with you to know exactly what's going to happen 3 months from now, 6 months, 8 months, that you create so much stress for yourself. I'm saying pat yourself on the back for what you have accomplished, for what you know that you do right. That's number one. Number two, really and truly, how lovely is it that you can spend all this time with your grandchild in the very beginning of life? You don't have to miss any of that. That's amazing.
I just also got to get on my feet at some point, and a lot of bad things have happened in a really short time. And you're right, I'm very focused on you're right, and it's been hard for me to meditate, and it's been harder for me to just calm my center. I heard everything you said before, and I identified and resonated with all of it.
Okay.
It's really daunting, though, however, the car thing and the citations and all that. So I was just wondering what you saw for me.
Okay, so hear me really clear. And as far as the car, pretend it's not there. Take care of what needs to be done as far as financially, and that means whatever restitution needs to be taken care of as far as tickets or going to court or whatever. Obviously that's something important. But as far as the car, for now, just let it be, because within 6 months you're going to be back on your feet. You will have a vehicle. You will be able to move forward. Just take this time to get to know you again. So much of your world the past 5 years, 7 years, I'm going to say a little longer, has been about run, fix, what's next? Oh my gosh, now what do I do? Okay, change directions, run back. It's enough. It's time to have more peace. And think about it this way, what I was saying earlier, if you were listening about like attracts like and birds of a feather, if you are more peaceful, guess what happens? More peaceful things. Yes, they come together. And you know how this works, honey. I'm not telling you something that you don't know. You definitely have a connection to nature. Take your grandbaby outside and sit on the grass and play. And while you're there, point out fireflies and point out the fairies and point out all of the little butterflies and get reconnected, though.
Hummingbird watching, Halley.
Pardon?
Hummingbird watching.
Hummingbird. Okay, so it's same thing, but you understand what I'm getting at. I feel like this is the time for you to be doing that. This is not the time for you to be running. This is not the time for you to be trying to figure out, okay, how do I fix everything? It really is about breathing. It really is about doing what you know that you can do in this moment. And just keep in mind, by January, and when I say by, that's usually my end point, which means things can happen faster. But as soon as you start to shift your energy, everything else will shift. As far as things panning out and being able to pay everything in respect to the vehicle, that's going to be okay. So breathe. As far as relationships outside of children and grandchildren, you need to kind of put everybody aside for the moment. Be pleasant, but focus again more on you. Okay, honey?
Yes, thank you.
You are welcome. Have a beautiful evening.
You too, honey. Bye.
Take care. Bye. Oh my goodness. Okay. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back with the Halley Elise Show. Thank you. This is your empowerment psychic, Halley Elise, one of the top 100 psychics in America. For over 30 years, I have offered psychic readings, programs, spiritual guidance, and other life skill techniques. As our lives have become more complicated, we often reach for answers. Who are we? Where are we headed? Are we pointed in the right direction? In addition, we often are concerned for our loved ones. I have helped thousands of people navigate their life circumstances through different modalities of spiritual and intuitive guidance. Call me at 561-755-2166 and allow me to further explain how I may assist you in clearing the path of yesterday so today and tomorrow will be a success. Call me at 561-755-2166 or visit my site, HalleyElise.com. That's HalleyElise.com. Welcome back. I'm listening to the music. I'm kind of bebopping in my chair here. I was thinking during break about how neat it is when I have folks who call in over the years and then they schedule an appointment at the office and they'll say, oh, I spoke to you on the phone on the radio 2 years ago, or I called back on, November last year. It's kind of cool. I had that happen recently, 2 times actually. Somebody phoned in and said, I heard you on the radio. I liked what you had to say. And they scheduled an appointment. And then there was somebody else who I had actually spoken with who had come in. To me, it's a pleasure to actually meet that person and see their face in addition to connecting to a voice. Because energetically, you can connect whether you're there or not, but it's always nice to shake somebody's hand or give them a hug. Anyways, it was just something I wanted to share. And I do want to remind everybody, if you want to come out and connect with me, August 1st, which is a Wednesday at 7:30 p.m., we are having the Psychic Gallery. You can get more information online at HalleyElise.com. That's HalleyElise.com. Entry is very reasonable, and I would say don't wait too long because last gallery we were packed. We had a great time. And if you're going, wait, what is that? I'm going to just say, please take a look online, and I'll give you a quick overview right now, which is you get an opportunity to stimulate your own psychic ability, to de-stress, refresh, get a psychic reading, have fun, and play with energy. That's a fast ball of wax there. All right, I believe we have Lisa on the line. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Hello, Haley. How you doing?
Good. What can I help you with this evening?
Just whatever you're picking up in general, career, love life.
Okay. Give me just a second here. I get duality. As soon as you said career, it's interesting. There's that sense of you can do more than what you're doing, but I don't feel that there's confidence in making a change on your own. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're in July 2018. Okay, so what I'd like to suggest is wait till the fall and then start putting your toe in. And what I mean by that is don't make a massive move right this second, because I don't feel like emotionally you trust that everything is going to be all right. And that's got to be a part of it. It doesn't matter how capable you are. It doesn't matter how capable everybody else sees. If you personally are not feeling that it's okay, then you'll find a way subconsciously to make it not okay. But right. I feel as if September, there's going to be, if you will, a new wind of change here for you. I feel like you'll start to get to the point where you're determined. You're determined to make the change. You're determined to do the thing that's going to make you most happy. And I feel at that point, when you put your toe in, you're going to be very happy that you did.
Great.
Also, I get that you have a connection out of state who could help you. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone. You are very independent most of the time, and you are the one who other people come to and say, hey, can you help me with? And if you can, you do. And it's funny because I get this sense, too, that sometimes you're thinking, oh, my God, I can't believe they're asking again. How come they can't do this? And yet you help them.
Yeah.
It's okay for you to ask for help, too, just so that you know. I realize you're independent, but still, when it comes to creating that desire and bringing it into manifest, be okay with picking up the phone. It's not showing weakness. It's not saying that you're incapable. What it's doing is just the opposite. It's showing that you're strong enough and capable enough to see resources for what they are. So again, I'm just going to reiterate, please have faith in yourself so that you can actually reach out, because that will speed up your process. The other thing here.
Family member, friend?
I'm leaning towards family member.
Okay.
Who typically...
Like for advice, not for financial help.
Correct.
Okay.
Because I feel like there is wisdom there that you haven't tapped into simply because they come from a different point of reference.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that they're wrong. It just means different. And if you can take it and apply it to what you're doing, you are going to find that there's little, what do they call them, pearls of wisdom there?
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be helpful. I'm going to totally switch gears for you for just a moment. It, to me, feels as if, I'll say, bottom of the esophageal area into upper stomach, get a little sensitivity here. Feels as if it's more, I'll say, present in the evening than it is in the daytime. So I'm going to simply suggest be very aware of how late you eat before you go to bed. Because I don't get illness, I just get discomfort. And you may have to shift some of your eating habits a little bit.
I probably eat too late. Yeah, I eat dinner late, so I need to switch that up.
Yeah, so, I mean, for instance, if you're doing dinner at 9 o'clock, maybe you can push it back an hour. Yeah, just see if you can't make a slight shift here. I feel like you'll avoid some discomfort.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing, too, is I'm hearing fruit. Bring more fruit into your diet. There's something, and obviously I'm not a physician, I just know what I'm sensing, but there's something that your body is craving right now that it would be satiated with if you have more fruit in your diet.
Okay.
Okay. And the other thing is, think about opening your heart a little bit more. You are really good with those that you know won't hurt you. You are very protective with everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
As best as you can, and I'm not saying that all of a sudden trust the entire world, because that wouldn't be wise, but as best as you can, think in terms of, I am so lovable that only the right people are now going to step into my world. Because that will allow you to open up without that fear that you need to protect yourself.
Okay. You see anyone in my life now, relationship-wise?
To me, it feels as if I'll use the word pause, like you're on pause, which doesn't mean that there's nobody there. It just simply means I don't get movement.
Right. There's somebody there, but there's been no movement.
Right. And again, if you can open a little bit from your heart, you'll start to see a change. A lot of this has to do with trust. I mean, you can take a look at the other person and say, well, they're not doing this or not doing that, and you would be correct. By the same token, there is that need to make a change so that you have a better flow coming towards you.
Of men.
Say that one more time, hon.
Of men.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great night.
Bye-bye. You too. Bye.
Bye. All right, everyone. We are about at that time. It's like, whoosh. I don't know where the time goes. Thank you so much for tuning in, for calling in. I do want to remind you once again, Psychic Gallery will be August 1st, which is a Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. in Boca Raton. You can get more information at halleyelise.com. And of course, if you'd like to schedule for a private appointment at the office, there is information on the site as well. Feel free to call me at 561-755-2166. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Remember to tune in every Tuesday on WNN at 9 p.m. for more peace, inspiration, and psychic phenomena with empowerment psychic Halley Elise, Top 100 Psychic.